Hello, my name is Dr. Mia Harriet Stack, and I spoke to you earlier today from just outside London, and actually it's now 2:04 in the morning here in London, so I had a little rest in the afternoon because I know that I want to stay up with you, as long as I can to see if we can get some kind of declaration tonight as to who the 47th president of the United States is going to be after this 2024 United States presidential election, which is obviously being held Tuesday, although it's not Wednesday here, on November 5th. Voters in each state and the District of Columbia will choose electors to the Electoral College, who will then elect a president and a vice president for 4 years. There are also other elections going on at the same time for members of Congress and for state governors, but I'm not concentrating on that. There's so much else to look at just at the moment. Now, voting has closed, obviously, on the eastern side, in terms of time zones, further to the west, that could be just later, a couple of hours later. So what we know already is, which, well, of course, it's the Georgia seems to be now, and North Carolina really seem to be going to be red. All what I've been reading from America is that Georgia and North Carolina will go to President Trump. So that's very, very good news. It's amazing that this election is all about the swing states, and in particular one state, and that's Pennsylvania, and then Wisconsin and Michigan. These three states seem to kind of rule the whole of America, because that's where the real fight is for to get to that level of the 270 electoral college votes that each candidate needs to become elected. We may have some idea by early this morning early this morning here, which means early Wednesday, but it could take a couple of days because of the way the voting system is in America. It's not like here in the United Kingdom and Ireland, where it's pretty much the polls are really good, and what's happening once the polls are closed. People know what people have voted for, but people have been very reserved, actually, especially women. They didn't want to be interviewed or identified as to who they were voting for, but there was an impression that a lot of women were voting for Donald Trump, Hispanic women and black women, which I think a lot of people would have thought would be just obviously voting for Kamala Harris. Why was that? what is the most important policy in this campaign, and it's in all campaigns now worldwide, and really it's the cost of living crisis. Everybody is feeling that it's just too much. New York is too expensive to live in. It's paycheck to paycheck. London is very expensive to live in. Paris is very, very expensive to live in. Munich and Berlin is very expensive. So, the cost of living crisis is something that, especially after the pandemic, is probably, the most important policy, and who is going to solve this, or who's going to help, the middle class voter, the ordinary class ourselves all as ordinary people's quality of life, and their ability to put food on the table, to educate their children, and to do all the things that we have human rights for to do, and really, so the cost of living crisis is hugely important. So getting back to the, I thought we might be able to, have a sort of better idea of who might win this election, but it's not as clear as that yet, because Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, the blue states or whatever, aren't going to be known just yet. We may have some idea a bit later on. The electoral college votes in Pennsylvania are huge. I think it's 19 electoral college votes, and usually that goes with Wisconsin and Michigan. So the three together, if you win one, if you win Pennsylvania, then you win Wisconsin and Michigan, and that's really where the sort of these states, very important states, determine who's going to be the 47th president of the United States. So just in summary, we think now that Georgia and North Carolina is now red, that they will be, President Trump, Donald Trump will win that. It's neck and neck, allegedly, in the these states that are Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, Arizona, Nevada. There is a sort of other factor in this election about this kind of having a liberal agenda, an anti-liberal agenda. But I think that the cost of living crisis is more kind of important to people at the moment, although these are very important issues, and rights, reproductive rights, and are important issues. But for the voters, the money in their pocket of putting food on the table, etc., is the most important thing. The cost of living crisis. It's too expensive to live in New York apparently, and it's been not said that it's a city just for the rich, which is really quite sad. But that's the situation that I kind of gleaned just from looking at the American websites